Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a screencast-o-matic presentation and recording for the part of the lesson that has us looking at two controversial hot topic issues pertaining to formal organizations and bureaucracies in our society. So let's go ahead and begin with the part of the lesson that has us looking first at should colleges still require the SAT and ACT? Before we get started, please let me encourage you to open up to today's lesson and to scroll down to the correct part. And remember that your job is to answer the key concept questions that appear and then provide your own analysis at the bottom using supporting detail. Let's get started. For decades, taking the SAT or the ACT has been a rite of passage for American high school students. Last year, about 4 million students took one of the two standardized tests that are required as part of the admissions process at many U.S. colleges. But there have long been complaints that the tests are biased, and a recent college admissions scandal included allegations of cheating on the tests. Representatives of a standardized testing company and an organization that advocates for fairness face off about whether colleges should require these tests. So let's go ahead and look at two arguments here from two experts in the field. First, let's go ahead and look at the yes side. Yes, colleges make admission decisions based on a variety of factors, almost all of which are subjective or variable. Grades? Grade inflation is rampant. Courses taken? Rigor can vary dramatically from one school to another, which also affects grades. Class rank? It depends on the school size and quality. Personal essays, letters of recommendation, interviews, all highly subjective. The only factor that allows colleges to compare the readiness of any two students on the same scale is standardized test scores. So your ACT or SAT scores mean the same thing regardless of your background, gender, race, or how much money your parents make. They allow colleges to compare students who attend different schools, live in different states, take different courses, and earn different grades from different teachers on an apples-to-apples basis. No other admission factor can do that. More information is always better than less information when making important decisions, and ACT/SAT scores, used as one of the many pieces of information, help colleges make better, fairer decisions. Research consistently shows that using multiple measures such as GPA and standardized test scores in combination results in better predictions. So to recap here, standardized test scores help colleges make better, fair decisions. Your test scores reflect what you've learned through your hard work in school. Let's say you and another student both took a pre-calculus course in high school, and you both earned an A. But the course you took was more rigorous, and you had to work a lot harder in that grade. So you actually learned significantly more and are better prepared to succeed in a college-level math course than the other student, even though your transcripts look identical. But how do colleges know this? Your standardized test scores can tell that story. The ultimate goal of admission criteria should be to ensure that students land where they have the best chance to succeed. Standardized test scores clearly help accomplish this goal. So that side of the story, by the way, was from Wayne Camara, Horace Mann Research Chair, ACT. Let's go ahead and move on to the next argument here, and let's talk about the no side. No. Test optional admissions policies are a win-win for both colleges and high school students. Both groups would be well served if more schools stopped requiring the SAT or the ACT. More than 1,000 U.S. schools that grant bachelor's degrees currently make admissions decisions about most applicants without regard to ACT or SAT scores. Test optional institutions range from huge multi-campus state schools, such as the University of Texas, to many other private colleges. These tests are not a level playing field for all students. In fact, research has long shown that both tests have built-in biases that favor white students from more affluent families. Many minority groups tend to score lower, in part because of test bias. The multi-million-dollar test prep industry has exacerbated this problem. It's common for students from wealthy or even middle-class families to take courses from companies like Princeton Review to improve their scores. But students who grow up in low-income households can't afford expensive test prep classes. That's why scores often reveal more about an applicant's socioeconomic background than his or her potential for success in college and or in life. So to recap here, the ACT and the SAT have built-in biases that favor white affluent students. In addition, test optional policies strongly appeal to high school students. Having grown up taking standardized tests constantly, many teens appreciate being treated as, quote, more than a score, end quote. They'd rather be judged on academic performance, grades, and course rigor, not filling in multiple choice bubbles. On both sides of the admissions equation, test optional policies make sense. Schools that drop the ACT and SAT requirements attract more applicants who are more diverse. 2 recent studies of about 30 schools found that students admitted without providing these test scores did as well as college those who submitted them. That's why the test optional movement is growing so rapidly. In the past decade, nearly 200 schools have dropped ACT, SAT requirements, and many more should follow. So that side of the debate here was from Bob Schaefer, Public Education Director of Fair Test. Let's look at some of the numbers and data down here, by the way, that have been included here for you. So 1.9 million is the number of students in the class of 2018 who took the ACT. 2.1 million is the number of students in the class of 2018 who took the SAT. 1,048 is the number of bachelor's degree granting colleges that have test optional policies. So now's your time. What do you think? Should colleges still require the SAT and ACT? Please, on your doc, support one side and provide supporting detail for that side. Thank you very much for tuning in, and please proceed to the next reading and the next part of the lesson.